what was the last night, the game, the energy that starts the offense today? What is necessarily the mood in the clubhouse right now after what kind of was a loss that just went away from you guys as the game just went on?
You know, we came out and established the tone really well, and then we kind of fizzled off. You know, gave up the momentum there in the sixth inning, gave up a 5 spot, and weren't able to kind of piece it back together. And that's kind of a little bit of a hangover of Friday night, where when their guy went CG against us, they didn't have the burning in those arms in the bullpen, and they were all had their best relievers, you know, coming out of the pen. We did a good job against their starters, but you know, after that, the last 2 guys shut us down pretty good, and we weren't able to. We were still able to get base runners and square some balls up, but weren't able to make enough happen, you know, against those guys.
You mentioned Schiefer last night. It was an opportunity to possibly maybe start this game. He hasn't necessarily had an outing like this all season. What can you necessarily explain about what he went through today?
I think you know, possibly we stretched him out pretty good last week, and that was the reason we didn't want to start him today. Just you know, after thinking about it and him being stretched out as much as he was last week, you know, we had maybe an idea he might be really sharp for 2 or 3 innings, you know, but it's probably a little bit optimistic to think he can go much more than that, given how much we stretched him out last week. So, you know, we chose to start Matty today, sinker baller, try to keep the ball, you know, on the ground as much as we could. You know, and Ryan turned out, you know, wasn't as sharp as he normally is today, and gave up some uncharacteristic hits that he usually doesn't do.
On the offensive end, Brandon talked about it, the ability for you guys to get barrel on ball. Do you feel the approaches have really improved these last 2 games?
It's certainly better than it was Friday, and it would have been better than Friday. So, but yeah, the last 2 games have been better, and there's still room to continue growing there as well.
The first inning obviously kind of exploded off the gates, and then it kind of trailed off as the game progressed. Did you feel there was like a change of approach by the players, or anything that kind of allowed that to happen?
No, I think that's just, you know, some guys you see really good and some guys you don't. That's baseball, right? And I think, you know, Jaden Harris came in there and carved us up the first inning. We made a good adjustment off him. We got the ball back up, and we were able to get base runners and score a couple runs off of him. And like I said, Poster and Ashman were the two best relievers, and they came in, and I don't think we had a poor approach off of them. We did square some balls up. We didn't get a ton of hits, but I think 4 or 5 off of those 2 guys. But you know, we squared some balls up off them pretty well, and I wasn't disappointed with the approach. Obviously, disappointed in the results. You know, again, we talk about results, but you can't control the results. So we put a lot of good at bats together off those guys. We just didn't get a bunch to fall in.
As you look at homers for Utah today, what would you assess or point to as well on those pitches and at bats?
They hit it really hard. Went over the fence. That's the bad part. You know, I haven't had a chance to look at where those pitches were. They looked like they were up in the zone, but I couldn't tell right or left if they're down the middle or on the corners. But you know, Clarkson torched us this weekend. He'd been scuffling all year long, and he got hot in here. And the kid's a good hitter from what I remember, and couldn't believe when I saw his numbers that they were that low. But you know, he, I guess, proved me right. I guess in the fact that I thought he was a pretty good hitter, and he didn't miss many balls this weekend. And we even walked him a couple times, just not feeling good about the matchup, the way he started to swing it. And the kid that killed us was the defensive replacement that came in the 5th and ended up hitting 2 homers against us and 5 RBIs. So that was the guy that kind of ultimately turned the tide of the game, Flaherty kid. So yeah, that's kind of a unusual suspect there that we weren't anticipating burning us the way he did.
You got 12 different pitchers across this weekend. You got 5 games, 6 days coming up this next week. How do you extend this pitching staff to go about, you know, a really long week, your 3rd weekend this series where you've had 5 games, 6 days?
You know, we're going to bring extra arms on the road for those first few games at Fullerton, and see where we're at after that. You know, and we're going to have guys are going to get opportunities, and we'll have to piece it together. It's you know, guys that haven't pitched a ton are probably going to get a chance to throw the rubber and beat up some innings. Hopefully, get Tyler Meyer back, and hopefully he can give us some good innings. And a guy I don't hold out are going to have to step up and eat up some innings at that during that series.
Is there any update on Burns' availability coming up down the
We're
stretch?
going to find out tomorrow what the update estimate is. So he got another test done on Friday. Of course, the results usually don't come that day, so we have to wait till Monday, and hopefully we'll get some answers and some definite answers on Monday.
The bold thing to put Kian Vu in the second hole today. How impressed have you been with his progression, with the amount of opportunities he's been kind of thrust into over this last week and a half? And do you think he has an opportunity to be a household stalwart in the top of your order going forward?
Well, I mean, he's taken advantage of his opportunity, and no matter what role I've asked him to do, he's done it tremendous this year. And whether that's pinch hit or pinch run or late defense, and now getting an opportunity to start more frequently, he's continued to produce and put up numbers. So he played good defense, and he's a good base runner as well, and gives us a dynamic to steal bases, and he's going to keep playing. Some other guys just flat out aren't cutting mustard right now, so he's going to keep getting his opportunities.
2 games today, the 11th different start of this season. Going to the final month of the year, do you hope to kind of get some more refined roles going before you get to the Pac-12 championships?
Well, we're just worried about Tuesday at this point. I'm not worried about Pac-12 championships or, sure, I'd love to have a starting rotation inked and healthy and ready to go, but we're not there. We don't have it. And I think when you lose your best guy, you get put on the defensive a little bit and trying to figure out, do you break up your bullpen and make those guys starters, or do you try to keep what, at that time was the strength of our team intact, and you're kind of left with, one or the other. You want Ben Jacobs to start Friday and Marshall Saturday and have a guy Sunday, well then you're going to finish games with. And we're sitting here talking about why we lose late or whatever, and it's those are the decisions we got to make, and we're just unfortunately we're not deep enough right now on the mound to withstand injuries, and hopefully we'll get there. And said the positive out of all this is guys getting opportunities, and hopefully some of these guys step up and maybe force their hand into a starting spot.
You had so many different freshman arms this season, and you're being forced to mature a little bit this year. How do you feel those freshman arms have matured, becoming guys that kind of have to be, upperclassmen early times in their career?
Well, I mean, I've talked to several other coaches that I know and trust, and they're like, man, it's tough with freshmen, and we knew that going in, and again, I don't need to get into the whole situation why we're here, getting all those guys drafted last year, and this is what we're left with. We got a ton of freshmen and unanticipated guys that are drafted that are gone. So now they're getting thrust into big time roles, and look at other teams across the country when they have to throw their freshmen, they give it up a lot of times, and so we're having to be patient, and I'm not a patient person a lot of times, so that's hard. And I know Sammy's doing his best to get those guys developed and prepared, but the facts are these guys are being asked to do a lot, and they're capable of it. Yeah, sometimes freshmen are definitely capable of it, and other times you're going to have growing pains, but some of these guys are getting better. Carlone's starting to find his off-speed pitch a little bit more often. I think Thomas obviously came out and showed why he's one of the elite freshmen out there, and Albie's picking it up and doing better, and we continue to have guys that are starting to grow a little bit, but we just don't have enough of them.
How much pressure is that for a guy like Carl Mockrell, kind of being the only starter available to you guys and needing almost good performances from him, near perfect performances from him maybe on any given series? Like, does that add more pressure to him in his role as a player?
I don't think so. I mean, you're part of the team. Everyone's asked to do the best they can. That doesn't mean he has to do anything. It's just that we set a standard where we want everyone to perform well. And so, if he's a fifth-year senior, he's done a great job with what he's done. I mean, that's what he's capable of doing. So, again, I've said it several times. All we ask is for guys to do what they're capable of doing. And that's what he's capable of. If that means excess pressure, then all that's external stuff. why we put an external pressure on ourselves to have to do stuff. Just go be you.
You talked about your patience, and I would imagine it's starting to get a little thinner. How do you keep this team focused on winning baseball when the results just consistently are going against you no matter what happens with the changes that you make?
Again, trying to control the things that we can control. Effort, attitude, mindset, you know, and representing what we're representing, you know, to go out and put your best effort every day. And to me, those are non-negotiables. We're not always going to be pretty. There's going to be days where we're ugly and days that we're good, and regardless, you're expected to carry yourself in the right way. And I think when you focus on the controllable things, the other stuff takes care of itself. So what I ask of these guys is to stay mentally ready, you know, give your best effort when you're out there, and be mentally into the game. There's no wavering on any of that stuff. And if you're going to get mentally soft on me right now just because things aren't going our way, then you know life's gonna kick you in the ass if you do it that way. So you got to keep grinding and keep pressing forward and keep trying to improve.
Has managing through the pitching staff and the injuries been one of your toughest tests as manager in the 3 years across ASU? Or
you know, every year and every week has had its challenges, you know, one way, shape, or form, whether we're going good or not so good. And there hasn't exactly been calm waters yet in my first 3 years. So it's, you know, I quite frankly don't know what it's like to have calm waters. So right now I'm just kind of trying to, if we ever do get them, man, it's going to be sunsets and martinis. That would be kind of cool if we can get some calm waters and have a bunch of arms that we know can go out and shut another team down and prove they're capable of, but we're not there yet. And so for me, I'm a grinder. I'm going to keep grinding and continuing to try to find the right guys that fit that mold and continue to develop players. You know, that's what we do. So I don't think anybody on that coaching staff is giving in. We're going to continue to try to coach these guys and get them better. The results don't always look like that, but it's not due to a lack of effort. We're going to continue to push these guys to get better and hold them to a standard that we expect them to be at.
Are you confident that you'll be able to get this group to that stage where it's sunsets and martinis?
That's why I took the job. I didn't take it to fail. And I know that the wins and losses aren't there yet. And I'm the first to admit it. And obviously, you go ahead and point the finger at this guy. That's okay. I got thick skin. I can wear it. But when we get this thing right, it's going to be fun. We're just not quite there yet.
You really harped on the process and like focusing on that to make sure the results come. If you use a good process, the good results will come. But eventually, kind of these results start to pile up and start putting blemishes on the resume as you guys look forward to the postseason. How do you guys kind of manage looking still at the day and taking it game by game, but also realizing that there's a lot of blemishes on the resume and you guys kind of be perfect the rest of the way?
You start adding up that type of stuff, and we're not there yet. We can't be looking at resume where we're at for postseason. We got to win against Fullerton on Tuesday. Like we're not focused on postseason at the moment. We're focused on trying to play the right style of baseball that eventually will get us there. But we got a long way to go before we worry about postseason stuff. And we got to get it right. Just playing the game the right way before we start worrying about postseason.
I know with Burns, you had said when you first went down that you wanted to be extra careful with him. You see him miss the future of that Friday night role. Is that still the plan, that any kind of bad results and it's you're going to keep him out?
Yeah. I would never jeopardize a kid's career based on the program or the accolades of anything else, right? Kids are too valuable. Like they matter to me, and their futures matter to me. So if there is anything that would put his future in harm, I will not push through that. Just at the expense of anything else unraveling, will not put a kid's career in jeopardy intentionally. So that to me is not going to happen. If he gets a clean bill of health, then let's ramp him up and get him ready to go. But if there's anything that is questionable on that, I refuse to put his career in jeopardy.
Thanks,